Hey, everybody, welcome to episode number 8. This show is Sit Down Marks, Let's Talk Wrestling. I got my guys Primo up there with me and AJ. Welcome to the show today, everybody. Wow.
Just want to let y'all know that the best in the world's here.
Yeah. That caught me by surprise. Didn't know what happened there.
Little CM Punk going on.
That's right. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your heel host, Dirty Bird. That's my guy, AJ, up there. He is from the land of Chicago, currently residing in another land, parts unknown officially. But he's rocking his Coastland shirt, man, looking good today. Welcome, AJ, to the show. My other co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, the current reigning and defending Kurt Angle owner, Primo Silver Fox. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you being here tonight. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about. First of all, let's get to these sponsors, man. Coastland Apparel, man. I'm rocking the hat. AJ's got the shirt. Primo's got the hat, man. We're getting going here. We're looking fresh. I got the Coastland shirt on too, man. This is a cool shirt. I don't know if you guys can see this one, man. It's like a Yeti shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This was a pretty funny one. So
I'm gonna steal that from you.
It'll be big. Be very big.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, we're going to recap what's happened in wrestling lately. But first of all, man, let's get to this rowdy, man. Today, I got some strawberry lemonade. Fellas, what y'all got?
Me too, strawberry lemonade, same.
3 for 3?
So I'm mad at myself right now because I drank I got a 6-pack for the trip down. And I'm like, I'll get some more when I'm down here. And then I drank it all and couldn't find any yet. I still have other places to check. So right now I am drinking IGA's finest apple juice.
That sounds delicious. All right. Well, thank you, Rowdy and Apple Juice, for sponsoring the show today. So we're going to talk about wrestling that's going on. We're going to talk about Mick Foley's story that I got. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite best heels of all time. So let's get this show started, man. Primo, what do you say? This day in wrestling and birthdays.
This day in wrestling history, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 1985, WCCW Parade of Champions 2.
Ooh.
Ric Flair versus Kevin Von Erich comes to a 22-minute draw, double count out for the NWA World Heavyweight title.
Wow.
How about that?
That's the ending you want to see, is a double count out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And the other interesting one from today, well, it's not so much interesting as, hey, I remember that. Because, that's what I actually remember. 2001, WWF Insurrection. Main event was The Undertaker, playa, defeating Two-Man Power Trip. You know who the Two-Man Power Trip is, right? Stone Cold and Triple H in a handicap match. Stone Cold was the champ. He had to pin Stone Cold to get the championship. So, nice. and Undertaker won the match. Birthdays today. We have 1939, Cowboy Bill Watts.
Oh, and Mr. Been all over the South promotions.
And not so much a wrestler, but he is 1976. We got referee Chad Patton.
All right.
And that's today's day in history, May the 5th.
Cinco de Mayo's week for wrestling.
That's right. Exactly. It took me a lot to look that stuff up.
Yeah, I bet it did. All right, guys, let's get into the show, man. Welcome, everybody, for being here. I'm the Dirty Bird once again. We're delighted you guys are with us today, man. If you're following along with us, we're going to get rolling, man. We got a very action-packed, a lot to talk about. So AEW is getting fired up, man. We got a really big show tonight, man, and we don't have to pay for it. It's going to be on TNT. AJ, let's talk about it, man. What happened in AEW last week?
So, last week in AEW, it was they did a good job of building up to Blood and Guts, which is right now I'm super excited. Like I'm going to watch it immediately after we're done with this. So
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
So kickoff, it's going to be Hangman Page against Brian Cage, but Team Taz, which I was disappointed that Taz didn't make much of an appearance because I wanted to come up with something that he looked like again this week, but no such luck. So Team Taz beats down Hangman Page before he gets in the ring, and so he starts at a disadvantage, and basically Brian Cage just works him over the entire match. Brian Cage, I like Brian Cage. I mean, he's got some cool power moves, and he has like the like roid belly. Like, have you guys ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
So like,
he's got like the keg going on.
Yeah. You do a lot of them. Yeah, like the barrel chested roid belly.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian Cage has that, and he did a lot of impressive power moves, and Hangman barely got any offense in. And
Brian Cage looks like he should. Cage looks like he should be casted as the next Wolverine, doesn't he? Doesn't he look like he should be the next? Yeah. Well, with the chops and like he's huge.
His little mutton things.
Yeah,
he's just beastly.
Yeah.
By the way, I stole the term roid belly from OSW review. It's one of my favorite terms ever.
Roid belly.
Roid belly, like Animal from Road Warriors, just a big old roid belly.
Yeah, jacked up but still had the gut.
Yeah, like it's just funny. Where was I? Oh yeah, AEW. So up next we have the Sydal brothers versus my guys, the Young Bucks. So before this match started, there's a funny moment where Kenny Omega and the Inner Circle were all in a limo talking about how they're not afraid of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and then I think it was Nakazama like accidentally like honked the horn and they like all freaked out and stuff, which I got a kick out of. So anyways, on to the match. Young Bucks versus the Sydal brothers. Pretty good match as you would expect from the Young Bucks, and the Sydal brothers kept up with them the whole entire time.
That's the first time I've ever seen Matt's brother. I'll be honest, I've never seen his other brother wrestle before.
Yeah. I've never seen him wrestle. I've heard of him, but that's about it.
Yep.
They were great. Like, they were a great tag team. I think they're they had a lot of that babyface fire that's good when you're like not debuting, but you're going against the champs and
right. Yeah.
So a lot of cool moves and stuff as happens in these matches, and then Bucks get the BTE trigger for the win, and then afterwards Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, who has got to be in his like 50s at this point, still looks good though. They cut a quick promo talking about how they want the next tag title match. Mm-hmm. Thumbs up.
Yeah, Frankie was a little weird there. I don't know. It seemed like he was really stretching. Like, he didn't sell me on that at all. He was just kind of like, you guys, we're gonna whip you. We're gonna
beat you up and win.
Yeah. There was nothing no kind of substance to it. He was just waiting on the spot to go. This little thing, but yeah, it was a little awkward. But yeah, Daniels, it's crazy, man. It was funny the other day. I was watching. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but if you ever hook up one of those antennas to your TV and it picks up a bunch of local channels, all right. So there's this. You guys ever seen Pluto TV? It's like an app. It's like free TV. Well, I was hooking up a smart TV the other day. And I hooked all that up, and I was watching Pluto TV, and they had a channel dedicated. They have just like an MTV reality show channel. They have like a Kim Kardashian channel. Well, they got a TNA channel, like an old. It just constantly rolls old, And I was watching Hard Justice from God, who knows, man. But anyway, the main event was Sting and Jeff Jarrett. But oh man!
I mean, that's like
but Christopher Daniels. Yeah, but Christopher Daniels was on there, and he looked. I mean, that was probably 20 plus years ago, and he looked the same as he does now. Sorry, it took me forever to get to that point, but
Yeah.
He still looks like fallen angel Christopher Daniels.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like
His
our truth of the indie circuit. He's just not aging very much.
right. His story's pretty unique too. He was almost like a sidekick of Undertaker. So I have to look that up one day.
Really?
So yeah.
That would have been cool. Kind of like how Edge and Christian got their start as a sidekick for
Gangrel.
Yeah. I think he was one of those what do they call druids or something?
Druid,
yeah. I think he was one of those. But they liked him as like a whatever angel, death angel, wizard look kind of guy. Yeah. Yep.
Wizard.
Kind of.
Well, he did have that tattoo.
Right? You know how he looks there.
Mordecai.
Right, Mordecai. Yeah. I see Mordecai wrestle not long ago. He's a cool dude. Kevin
Vampire guy.
Kevin Anyway, moving on.
No, I want to talk more about Kevin Ferguson.
Kevin Ferdy.
That's gone off the rail.
I think it's Ferdy.
Sturgeon. That's what I'm sticking with. That's fine.
We'll take it.
Where are we? What are we watching?
Sorry, I got you sidetracked. We just Young Bucks.
So
won.
Right. Sit down, Mercs. Okay. Up next.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Again, I have sunstroke.
Once a week, Wednesday.
Up next is Orange Cassidy against Penta Cero Miedo, who. Okay, so I love Orange Cassidy. I think he's fantastic. I hate Penta. I hate him. Like I started doing the Cero Miedo count, and I gave up. I was like, there's not even anyone in the audience right now. Stop it. It's like once every 8 seconds he does the just stop.
He does, yeah. And then he'll do it and then take his glove off, and it takes him forever to take the glove off, and then he pushes the guy in the face. Yeah, I've seen that rig on the indies for quite a while now.
Oh,
I love his getup though. His outfit coming out is awesome.
Yeah, yes. he looks cool. But if he was taking on anyone but Orange Cassidy in this situation, I just would have skipped. And like, I've had enough of you, sir, and your stupid hand gestures.
Right.
So, anyways, like I love when Orange Cassidy does the hands in the pockets, wrestling for a little bit. Yep, puts them in the pockets. That to me is a fantastic gimmick. It's just it makes his opponents look silly, but I'm okay with that. But then for the rest of the match, like Cassidy himself looked kind of silly, and he eventually got the win, but it was only because of an assistance with his microphone enhanced Superman punch dealie that he does.
Yeah.
Which
what's it called? The Orange Crush or something like that? He calls it instead, or maybe that's a different move.
The fuzzy
navel.
Wait, wasn't the Orange Crush that move that what's his name back in New Gen Wrestling? The Hawaiian guy used to do. He used to crush the head. Kona Crush. There we go.
Kona Crush. Yeah.
Crush. Isn't that his?
I think that's right. Yeah. Like a head shrinker type deal.
Weird. I liked his mullet. He had a flowing mullet. So. Anyways, moving on. Up next is the Blood and Guts Parlay.
Mm-hmm.
So the Inner Circle and the I'm still going to call them the Pineapple because I love Chris Jericho. And the Pinnacle are in the ring with Tony Schiavone, and they cut promos on both sides. Pretty decent. I was actually really surprised by Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. Like they don't normally get a lot of time to talk, but when they do, like they can talk. Like they should be given more opportunities to do so.
Right.
Makes me feel bad that they're relegated to not, especially when you're in the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Pineapple. Like there's so many good talkers. Like you have MJF in there. Like so, of course
they're top guys.
MJF.
Yeah.
But the promo overall, it got me excited for the match next week.
Yeah, me too. I love the face-off.
Tonight.
Tonight, yeah. I loved how they were kind of ripping on each other a little bit. We got, everybody kind of like took their jabs and rips at each other, kind of grabbing the mic and, and all that stuff. And then, and then, at the end, I kept waiting on Hager and Wardlow to really kind of mix it up. And they probably the ones that kind of sidestepped, but that's going to be later for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. What's next?
Yeah, I'm excited for where they're going with everything.
I am too. Okay, up next, let me see if I can read my notes, because again, chicken garbage notes. I really need to start typing these. So Eddie Kingston refuses to fight Nakazawa, who that's who Omega was like, no, you're not fighting the champ, you're fighting whoever is out there.
Yeah.
So before like this, so I love Omega comes out, and he's like, you're not fighting the champ. He's like, I'm gonna send in the goons.
The goons. He called them the goons too.
And then Brandon Cutler just comes like
right.
Like shitting into the ring. It's like, oh, you jobber, what are you doing? Like,
oh no, yeah, that was kind of bad.
Your boss just called you a goon, and you're just gonna. So it was just a big schmoz that that ended up happening, and the result of it is that at Blood and Guts, Moxley and Kingston have a match with Omega and Nakazawa, which I'm excited for again. I think that's going to be a great match.
Yeah. Yep. That will be solid.
Yeah. Up next, Chris Stratlander versus Penelope Ford. Decent enough match, not a whole lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Penelope's getting better. Her selling's getting better.
She's not as comical as she has been, or like as fish floppy, I guess. Is it fish floppy? I don't know what that means.
I felt where you're going there. Yeah.
Flopping and selling. God. Also, I don't think Chris Statlander is going to lose anytime soon. I think they're giving her a solid push, and I think she's just going to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Britt wins the belt soon, and then her and Chris will be a feud. Not long after that, they'll probably let Britt run through a couple people first, and then
for sure.
maybe do a sort of a number one contender, thing or something. But yeah, they're going to the moon with Chris for sure. Why not, man? She's good.
She's great. Good. Great look. Like, ring.
Mm-hmm. Hope she'll get hurt again.
Yeah, I know. Which now that we said that, she's gonna have a torn ACL next week and be
probably.
So up next, we have the Nightmare Family versus the Factory. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I hate Billy Gunn. I hate him with every fiber of my if you were to if we ever do a list of 5 most hated wrestlers of all time, Billy Gunn would be number 2 for me.
Yeah.
I hate him. I hated him in WWE. I hated him.
I'm an 8-man.
His hair is kind of annoying now. It's like, just cut it. He's got a short little drop back there. They're doing this gun club thing, but yeah, he's out there. I'm sure he's helping a lot of the guys, putting people over. He's in a agents type role there, so he's doing a little bit of wrestling too. But yeah, I could go without not seeing him. Yeah,
remember when he was still doing DX crotch chops 10 years after DX stopped being a thing?
He probably made $30 million crotch chopping. So
and it was better than Billy and Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God! The Shoguns.
You look so good to me. Yeah, thank you.
We go.
Bill and Chuck. Palumbo.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh,
Keep going, please.
God.
Don't ask me to sing anymore.
I wouldn't let you hang in with that song.
Thank you.
Hey, Danny, can you give us a big show?
Well, it's the big show.
Okay, now I'll give you
Big bad
$5.
show tonight. I'll send you my Venmo after this.
Yep, you definitely earned it. So the cool part about this angle, Nightmare Family versus the Factory, which the Factory won. Yay!
Yeah, they're trying to build them.
Cody's back, which was fantastic. He burst out of the bus, and it's Cody. Yes.
He came off his own bus.
Yeah. Everyone's like,
I was
what's Cody doing there?
Anybody else notice that? I was like, he came off his own bus. They're like, oh my God, he's back. I was like, yeah, he came off his own bus. Okay.
This is such a
Probably been there the whole time.
everyone. It's like, did you not see his bus? Like, pull into the daily price or whatever it is?
You know what I don't like is whenever, like, Michael Cole's the worst at this. He'll be like, is it? Is it really?
Could it be?
Could it be?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
I know,
like,
right?
okay.
Yeah, and, you know, I was just say, I know it's wrestling. They asked us to suspend our belief, but come on, get the simple things right
Like-
that we don't
like,
have to.
Don't
like,
insult us.
yeah, right.
Like, we're not all, like, stupid children, but...
Yeah.
Like, let us just figure... Like, remember when Sting debuted in WWE? He did the same thing. He was like the Titantron with black and white. And he was like, "Is it?" And it's like, "Oh, shut up, Michael Cole. I hate you so
Right.
much."
I know.
Could it be?
It's boss time.
Oh my god.
Michael.
In this AEW recap, I feel like we've talked very little about AEW. So I'm gonna get okay. So, show closer main event is Darby Allin versus Preston Vance, whose name I find stupid, but I really like Preston Vance because it's like PRES number 10, like Preston Vance.
Preston Vance, yep.
Preston Vance.
Alleged
Yeah, he's
handpicked
great.
leader of or future champion of the Dark Orders by Brody Lee. Yeah, they were
Absolutely.
playing that up. Yep.
Which I'm all for because Brody Lee was one of my boys and he's like he trained like he was a mentor to Preston Vance, so I'm already on board that Preston train. But this match is great. Darby Allin continues to continues to impress more and more every week. This is like his 5th title defense in a row or something like that.
Yeah, and you notice they're putting this title a little more up and up. It's becoming the main event title, especially, and it's working out good, I think, because Omega's doing this thing with Impact, and when there's a little bit of a New Japan there, so he's like a little bit of all over the place. You know what I mean? So you notice he was like on, earlier in the show. So this, like I said, when they're really talking about it, they're making it the workhorse title. It's and there for a minute last night, man. The way they kept talking, I thought Tim was going to win, man. They're going to give.
I did too.
They're going to give them a legit title. I don't think. Now you guys can probably agree with me. I don't think that like in the beginning of Dark Order, it was a little bit of a joke. It was kind of funny. It was like, oh, join this little, and they've kind of morphed into, and it could have been, with the passing of Brody, they're a little more serious now. Seems a little more legit. I take them now as like a little more of like a legit faction. You know what I mean? Not just a bunch of crony jobbers out
like
there
the
putting
oddities.
people over. Yeah, the oddities or something like that. Yeah. So I like where they're going with it. Colt Cabana's in there, and Evil Uno, man. He cracks me up when he talks.
Evil Uno. That's pretty good, actually.
Thanks. You're welcome.
So end of this match. Well, not end of, but Sting appears again. I like that they're pairing up Sting and Darby Allin. I think that's going to give Darby Allin a great rub. Again, I don't want to see Sting do moves. I don't want to see him take bumps. I just want to see him go out there and maybe use his bat a little bit. Yes. Thank you, Primo. and that's it. Like I don't want to do a stinger death drop because I don't want him to land on his hip or something like that.
Yeah, he's saving Darby a lot, you know.
Which I don't like, but I do like that Sting is coming out there. But end of the match, Darby gets the win, and I really always like this when this kind of. Vance had a little show of respect for Darby Allin, which I like. I love spots like that, especially when they're not like all cheesy and like when Macho Man and Hulk Hogan do like the controlled handshake.
Yeah. They might.
I like the show of respect.
Yeah, and they made it out like 10 was dominating, and he made one mistake, and Darby capitalized on it. You know, he had him like in that choke, whatever, and rolled him back over. So it was kind of a cool ending. Like they could kind of leave that open, and it still elevates 10 as well. You know, I feel like they got a little bit of plans for him. Maybe the mask comes off later, and you know he leaves Dark Order or something. But you know, I this was an awesome main event. I loved it.
Yeah, this is like the third main event in a row that has really, really delivered on AEW Dynamite, and I need to start watching Dark. Like
I agree.
Immediately.
I'm gonna say this too. Here's the difference between what I'm getting right now from AEW and everybody else. Just those little bit of fans that AEW has there. You know, be it wrestlers around the ring, and then some fans, you know, like, you know, you see them, but you can hear them. Yeah, it just sounds and looks like wrestling to me, you know? So I watched that on Wednesday, and then I go Thursday, you know, to Impact. They don't have fans. Friday, SmackDown don't. You know, Ring of Honor don't. You know what I mean? And, like, it's just coming off different to me and, like, dry. So that's why I'm, like, AEW is, like, the promotion to me right now. Like it's just. You know, it's just interesting and exciting. Like they're doing it right. You know, and they have the ability of their owners being multimillionaire football owners, and they have these stadiums, and you know, which has just worked out great. But you know, and then what happened at the end? There was a save, right? Lance. They furthered the storyline.
Why am I drawing a result?
I think
blank right now.
Lance saved Sting there at the end. I think right.
Lance Archer.
Lance Archer.
Yeah. Comes out and because Paige and Scorpio Sky came out and attacked Allin and Sting.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all see that too, but Paige slung Darby hard into the apron going into the ring. I thought he was going to dislocate his hip, man. He about killed him.
Yeah, that was...
Darby takes some nasty bumps.
He does.
He really does.
Yep.
Young, he can get away with it. Just no buckle bombs. Are you listening, Brian Cage?
You're right, no buckle bombs, yeah. All right, well, that was AEW from last week, so we're looking forward to Blood and Guts tonight, man. It's going to be awesome. All right, Thursday last week. Yeah, me too, for sure. Impact. Last Thursday, they got started off. They did a little bit of a Rebellion recap, kind of what happened, showed everything that was going on. Scott D'Amore, who is posing as the owner, kind of running things around there. Starts off the show talking to Don Callis and says if Omega doesn't show up, he gets stripped of the Impact title. That's part of the contract. He's supposed to be here. So he tells Callis to make sure he gets there or he's getting stripped of the title. I thought instantly, okay, here's the angle to get it off of Omega. But I'm like, wow, we're going to go there already? But anyway, so most of the show, Callis is working on getting Omega in. So anyway, they lead into their next pay-per-view, which is going to be rather quickly. May 15th. It's going to be called Under Siege, which reminds me
before WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, it's right before WrestleMania. Yeah, Backlash. Under Siege. It sounds like one of those old Steven Seagal movies.
That is a movie.
Yeah. So all right. So they say that if Omega is stripped of the title, they're going to have a 6-way match at Under Siege to see who's going to be the champion. If Omega shows up, then the 6-way match is going to be whoever wins that is going to be the number one contender. So Scott D'Amore says there's going to be 6 qualifying matches over the next 2 weeks to decide who's going to be in that match. So first qualifying match is Jake Something versus a returning Chris Bay. Something. So Bay wins. He qualifies for the 6-way. Next up, kind of odd interaction. Sami Callihan, Don Callis have a little bit of words. You know, he calls Don names. Don calls him names, and they kind of go away from each other. So I guess it's a little prelude to something later. So, and then they have a return. Taylor Wilde, one of their knockouts. She was in and out of TNA for quite a long time. She's a big baby face. She just returned after 10 years. So she's back, and she beats Kimberly, and they're playing this little side role where Tennille Dashwood thinks that Taylor has come out of retirement to be her partner, a.k.a. Emma. You know, and she's like...
Emelina.
Emelina, yeah. She's like, no, it's not why he came back. So anyway, next match up is Sam Beal versus Morrissey. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass.
Yeah, Big Cass.
Big Cass. This dude is back, man. He is jacked up. He's in great shape.
SAWFT, so...
Yeah. Man, this dude, he cuts a promo. He beats up this dude, Sam Beal. You know, pretty much a squash, lets him get into it a little bit. Still uses his East River Crossing finisher, but man, God, dude, he looks great, man. He looks solid. It's funny. It's like he cuts his promo. He says, you know, all these guys in the back are nasty. None of them like you. They all hate you. They just want your money. He totally rips everybody off. And then he goes, the difference between me and them is, the only difference is I'll admit it. And then he just starts crunching this dude, man. Like, just, you know, takes him to school. So that's it's kind of like his little breakout. Then they cut to the back. Moose is talking to Scott D'Amore. James Storm walks up. So James Storm versus Moose. Coming up next week. Next match, Ace Austin versus Josh Alexander. Josh retains the X Division title. Next up is a Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering promo. Does anybody Ellering sound familiar to anybody? Rachel Ellering?
Paul?
Yes.
Daughter of Paul Ellering,
Yeah.
Yep. Old manager. Yep. She is one half of the tag team champions now. And
Wow.
with Jordan Grace, yep, she's just got signed, and another one of those that makes you feel old, don't it? All right, so next matchup: Brian Myers and Matt Cardona once again. The rivalry continues. This is a qualifying match for the 6-way title. Matt Cardona wins.
You mean his knee wasn't busted?
His knee wasn't busted. No, he sold it a lot, man. He went back. Brian went back to work on it, but Matt gets the victory this time, so that will put him in the 6-way. So we got 2 out of the 6 now. Chris Bay and Woo 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 is in there. All right, main event. Here we go. Sami Callihan, Eddie Edwards. These guys have wrestled about as much as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have.
Yeah.
They had the big bad incident. Well, this lasted about 5 minutes. We are about 2 minutes away from the show going off. Omega and the Good Brothers bust in. They go run into the ring, clear everybody out. They give Sami Callihan 2 magic killers, and he gets tossed. So just when you think they're about to rain, Finn Juice hits the ring, and they go into a big, huge brawl. But they're outnumbered by Omega and the Good Brothers, so they get beat down too. Show goes off with Good Brothers in them and Omega standing tall. No, they don't have any belts or nothing on them. They're just standing there. Don Callis is looking smirky and conniving and doing his thing as usual. So that's the Impact recap. So a couple side notes I want to talk about. Ring of Honor. Primo, me and you were just talking about the other day. Taven and Bennett are back together. Yep. The OGK is what they're called now, the OG Kingdom. So the Kingdom is back. They're back. Tony Deppen won the Ring of Honor TV title, and kind of a shocker, man. I'm still surprised that would happen. There's a few other things on the Indies. Not much. Anything happened over the week, really. There's still AEW did another show live on Twitch the other day. So, but that is it for Impact in the Indies, man. Primo, you're up, buddy. SmackDown from last Friday. Yeah, man, get it rolling.
SmackDown. We opened up with Bianca Belair coming out to the ring. Immediately after, we had the Street Profits coming out. She was starting to introduce. Let me take that back. She started to introduce the Street Profits. Out come the Dirty Dogs, the Glorious One himself, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. And right afterwards, Street Profits come out behind them. They have Bianca Belair, Dirty Dog, Street Profits sandwich going on with the Dirty Dogs. Then comes out Bayley. That turns into a 6-man tag team match. Intergender match. Belair and Street Profits defeat Bayley and the Dirty Dogs.
Yep. Start the match, the Dirty Dogs.
We have another. Yeah, you like another Natalia and Tamina once again defeat Nia and Shayna.
Next. Yep.
Immediately after, we had a video talking about the father, talking about Aleister Black. He had another video vignette there. After that, we had WrestleMania rematch. Big E defeated Apollo. No, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm right. Big E defeated Apollo via disqualification because Commander Aziz got involved. Then Kevin Owens came out because of last week when Aziz attacked him. And then Sami Zayn comes out. There's this whole brawl going on. You got Aziz, you got KO, you got Big E, you got Sami Zayn coming out. And then you have Aziz and Apollo getting the upper hand. Sami picks up the IC belt, looks at it like he's almost interested again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, real quick. Apollo's like, give me that. Immediately after that, it was when they came back from commercial break, they announced that this Friday night will be the throwback edition.
Yeah.
It'll be cool if they have the fist.
I know, man. I know. They got the fist is that's throwback. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
This was why I asked you so many times if you watched SmackDown this week. Every time I talk to you.
Okay.
Roman Reigns had new entrance music this week when he came out. What did you think about that? It's like, and it's like, and it's like, like there's a whole bunch going on.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's completely different, though. It sounds epic. Like, it gets to a point where it just sounds like an epic track.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So
much better than the Shield music that he's been using for years.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was going to ditch the music when he ditched the vest, and now it's like they're done trying to push him as, like, hyper babyface because people love the Shield, and I loved it. Like, they could have him come out to, like, a dirty banjo track, and I would have been thrilled with it just because.
Universal Champion's here! Could it be Roman?
I liked that he got new music. It was kind of weird to even come out with something else, So, do you think it's, a great champion? When you think of Shawn Michaels, you think of Sexy Boy. When you think of Stone Cold, you think of the glass breaking. So Real American Hogan.
Exactly. So will this entrance song stand the test of time? And when we hear it in the future, we'll be like, "Oh, that's Roman Reigns."
The jury's still out, I think.
Exactly. That's my. That's something like. Yeah. I liked it, but will it last?
Yeah. Hard to say.
No.
I don't know.
It won't.
Like,
they'll go through like 4 more tries with them before they.
Right. They'll run it down our throats if it's Roman until it works.
What's funny is I hear Cult of Personality and the Killswitch Engage song, and I think of CM Punk both times.
Yeah.
I don't know how many high school graduations you guys have been to in the past, 15 years, but every time I hear Pomp and Circumstance, I think Macho.
Oh yeah, I know.
Every single time.
Yeah, or 2001 Space Odyssey, Flair.
Yeah,
Flares.
Also, Fake Zarathustra is what that's actually called.
I will say that I'm a big fan of the remix of that Charlotte's music. And it's like more upbeat. It's like
yeah.
The EDM version of
right.
So Roman Reigns has new entrance music. He comes out for the
watch wrestling.
The high stake
or Molly. That's what the kids are calling these days. Molly, my bad.
The high stakes matchup between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. If Roman Reigns wins, Daniel Bryan has to leave SmackDown and he never wants to see him again. It goes on to Roman Reigns does defeat Daniel Bryan to retain the Universal Championship. So Daniel Bryan does have to leave, apparently. Reigns goes for the double stair chairs for the concerto, and DB is saved by Cesaro. Jey Uso intervenes and ties Cesaro up in the ropes, and still gets the concerto off to Daniel Bryan and makes Cesaro watch, and that's how we ended SmackDown.
All right, boys.
Ended SmackDown.
Yeah,
I love the Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan match. Fantastic.
It was really good.
The rumor is out that the contract has expired. DB, what do you think?
I've heard multiple different dirt sheets saying that he's talked about other promotions already before his thing even expired.
All right, let's double book this. Let's say it is expired. Primo, AJ first. Where do you want to see him?
Re-signed with NXT.
Okay.
Or re-signed with WWE down to NXT.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to be full-time anymore, and he wants to put over new guys.
Sure.
That's the place for it.
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, if that's true, that's the place.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Primo? Where you want him?
Send the American Dragon back to ROH.
Yeah. Oh, now you talking
okay
my language, man. Oh man, there's so many good matches.
If he goes back, I mean, that'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, it'd be absolutely crazy. Oh, what if Joe goes back too?
Exactly.
Oh, Ring of Honor's back, baby. Yeah.
I did see an interview with Chris Jericho that said that they have their eye on Joe. So they said of all the things, they're like, when you look at Tucker, we're like, let him go rebuild and we'll see. But Samoa Joe, definitely.
I would be all for that. Fucking, excuse my language. Samoa Joe.
Nobody's watching anyway.
Sunstroke.
Everybody's still working.
Yeah. All right, so that is SmackDown.
That's SmackDown in
last Friday. All right, man, let's talk about Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
They
showed a clip from earlier in the day, basically between Braun and Drew McIntyre, flipping the coin to see who's going to go one-on-one with the great one, the almighty Bobby Lashley.
One.
In front of the millions! The almighty Bobby Lashley of LED screens. So basically, Braun wins that. He's chosen to be the one to go one-on-one with Almighty. Next up, the return. I've been wondering where these dudes were. AJ and Omos finally come back with their tag team championships.
Did you miss me?
Yeah.
Did you miss us? Did you miss us?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of refreshing to see AJ. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I like him a lot, so...
we haven't seen him since Mania, right?
Yeah, they've been gone.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So you start off talking about how Omos dominated at WrestleMania. They say they've been partying since WrestleMania, enjoying it, living it up. AJ Styles says he's officially a grand champion now in the WWE. And then they're interrupted by the New Day, and they end up exchanging some words. And
I guess he lacked the tag titles then to be brand champion. Wow.
Yeah.
He hasn't been, he hasn't been there that long to get them already. That's pretty.
He said all within 5 years is what he said.
Wow,
that's exactly what he said. He said Grand Champion within 5 is what he said in his promo.
That's got to be pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, what is he? He's more than one-time world champion, right? Mm. He got the U.S. belt and he got the tag belt. Yeah.
Intercontinental. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if they count 24/7 now. Probably not. Please God.
No.
I'm just trying to count every belt.
They count that. They might as well count the women's too.
Yeah.
Right. Hardcore title.
Yeah. European Championship. So with a butterfly.
Divas.
Oh man. Okay. AJ and Omos defeat New Day to retain their tag. It was a tag team championship rematch. After another dominant performance by Omos, he just destroyed him again.
He told him in here. He said, "Get in here and get the smoke."
Yeah, he did. They came in and he just ended them.
I'm like, man, you're as stiff as a board.
That's a big old boy, though.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Absolutely. That was pretty amazing.
Of divas, right after that they played the promo for Eva. Did you miss me, Marie? Oh. You see that? Yeah. all red everything.
Oh.
All red everything on top of a car.
I just want to say there is a God. That's all I want to say. There is a God.
I mean, did she come back to wrestle?
I don't know, man. It sounds like it. What'd you hear?
Has she been?
I read that she's coming back in some sort of a managerial / valet kind of situation. I hope so. She's garbage in the ring. I mean, I love her.
I know a few years ago she was training with Brian Kendrick, but
she can be a Scarlett Bordeaux, like to carry her. She can do that.
But it makes me wonder why would they put a vignette up of that if she wasn't gonna be in the ring?
Yeah.
They're just gonna bring her back as a man.
All the women's roster's just like, okay.
Right.
All the dudes are like, yes! So backstage, Elias from last week when Elias Riker had the tomatoes thrown at him, this week they were backstage looking to seek their revenge. They went to go, that was right after New Day lost their match. They're sitting back there, and they go to throw the tomatoes. And then it pans back, and it's Randy Orton. He's like gonna kill him. Yeah, it's like they just pissed off Ramps, so they had to run.
Yeah, Dad's mad.
Exactly. So they took off. So obviously in your head you're thinking, okay, Randy's gonna strike on them later on in the match. Next up, Charlotte and Sonya back in the ring again. Charlotte Flair says she should be in the match at WrestleMania Backlash. Why isn't she in the match? She says the women's division and the WWE Universe needs the Queen. She basically pressures Sonya into putting her in that match. And she says, be fair to Flair.
Be fair to Flair, yeah.
Yeah, Sonya Deville agrees and adds Charlotte to the match. Backstage, we got Humberto Carrillo being interviewed about his match last week, or his altercation with Sheamus last week. And during that altercation, he has another one with Sheamus because Sheamus whoops his butt backstage. Next up, Adam Pearce. He's talking to Sonya Deville. Says she's overstepping and abusing her authority because she's making all these offhanded decisions against what he's wanting and without consulting him. This next one...
Yeah, they have these awkward stare downs.
Yeah. This next one, I was gonna be pissed if they didn't do something with it. So Cedric and Shelton were facing off against Lucha House Party, and they've lost every single week. And I'm just like, they better not lose to Lucha House Party. Come on.
Lucha House Party.
They lost to Lucha House Party, but then, yeah, exactly. And then but afterwards, Cedric Alexander's in the ring. He's furious. Basically, goes off on Shelton Benjamin. It's like, when's the last time you were relevant? you're holding us down. You probably are the reason we got kicked out of the Hurt Business. They're done. And that goes there later on. Shelton talks about that. Yeah.
I can't take it seriously at all. Cedric Alexander sounds so funny.
Yeah, he was like squeaky and hoarse at the same time.
Yeah. He was spitting all over the microphone. I don't know if you guys seen that too, but I was kind of like, okay, fast forward. Yeah, so I know where they were going with it.
Right.
You were the weakest link. You are the weakest link.
Afterwards, we had Angel Garza shows up backstage, and Drew Gulak's like, "Hey, man." He's dogging about the Rose, and he's like, "Why don't you go in the ring or just select me as an opponent right now, and we'll go take care of this and see who's better." Basically,
this is a new gimmick here.
Yeah, Angel Garza whoops Drew Gulak with ease.
Sticks the Rose in his butt too.
Yeah, that was funny, and I thought it was funny, and I'm just like, are they going to let him do that every week? Because it's kind of one of those risky things,
It's like sticking the dollar in the mouth. It's like the snake. It's like parting, like on the way out. That's what he's going to do. He's going to he's going to put the Rose in their tights and kick him in the ass.
It's hilarious.
But sorry, God,
the best part about it though was he was like, "Hey Drew, smell it." Like,
yeah.
Before he put it in his tights.
He's like, "You said you want to smell it?"
Yeah.
Right.
Drew,
no.
And then he booted him in the hole. It's like, this is
meanwhile, like, he's doing this on the side. He's hitting on Nia Jax, so he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, that's all over the place.
But I was, and I was watching him during this match, and I'll say this: I was watching him. I was like, man, if he give him a couple years and give him some grit, and I feel like he could go far.
Yeah,
like,
I can say that.
Gulak?
No, Angel Garza.
Oh, Garza. Okay, I thought you said Gulak.
Take some of that GQ away, give him some grit, and because he's got the talent.
Yeah. I see him wrestle on the Indies for a while. He's got some lineage in his blood. I think he might be somewhere along with the Guerreros. I think maybe Hector was like his great uncle or something like that. So, yeah, man. I mean, he's got it. They got him playing the Rico Suave. But I can't help but think, and you guys are going to back me up on this, I can't help but think they're going to morph him into a Matador role.
Like the Rose.
Yes. Don't do that. That'd be so mad.
Or Los Matadores. Remember Primo and Primo Colon and what's his name from
Epico.
Epico.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah.
What was the little bull guy's name? Like
El
Torito.
Yeah.
they had the little ladder match with Hornswoggle.
Yeah. The ladder had like 2 steps on it.
Yep.
There was 3MB and those guys. Oh my gosh.
They probably went over too. That's what the great thing. You said
as they should have.
Oh.
So after this goes down, my favorite thing going on in wrestling right now, Arcade Bro comes out and they defeat Elias and Jackson Ryder. Arcade Bro is the best thing in wrestling right now for me. Because it's just so funny. I laugh every time these two have an interaction. Because like we talked about last week, this week, freaking Matt Riddle was just going off. He's like, wait, we're going to go back. And he's like, we're still undefeated. Randy Orton's like, we've had one match.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he keeps talking. He's like, zip it. And he makes him zip it, and he holds his hand out and makes him give him the key.
That was gold, man. That was good. And then he's like a little puppy next to the big dog, and he's like, oh yeah, and then he like scoots his scooter,
and like Randy Orton's so serious, but every now and then he'll look over and he'll crack a little smirk, like.
All right, how long until they're tag champs? We know it's coming.
as soon as they get their first opportunity.
Yeah. Might let them sizzle for a little. That's funny.
So afterwards, Carrillo attacks Sheamus during his match with, the debut of Mansoor.
Mansoor, yeah. He won the big Rumble match over in Saudi Arabia probably over a year ago.
Yeah, so he had a match. He was signing his contract, and, Sheamus came back there and said, hey, fella, who are you, basically, and get your butt in the ring, fella, and we'll settle this. I'll show you. Welcome to WWE. And Carrillo ends up coming out and attacks Sheamus during his match with Mansoor. Sheamus ends up getting the upper hand on both of them and gives them each a brogue kick. So he's still standing tall and walks out, basically. I don't know what they're going to do with that now that Mansoor's in there too. So hopefully it sticks with just one-on-one with Carrillo at Backlash, but I guess Riddle is not even going to seek a rematch.
He's
got bigger plans
right now.
I mean, he's got Randy Orton with him, so. Now we got another. You know what? I'm just going to skip that match. During the Lashley Strowman match, while Strowman had the upper hand, Drew interrupted. This caused Lashley to defeat Strowman, and Drew gave out Claymore kicks to everyone at the end to close out Raw. So that's how Raw went off the air by Claymore kicking everybody.
Yeah, what'd you say, AJ? What'd you say, AJ?
What match did you skip there, Primo? Was it another Nia Jax match?
Maybe. It might have been a Shayna and Nia match. They actually won this one.
Right? Yeah. The Reginald thing.
Yeah.
All right, so that is Raw. So NXT from last night, which I know you're about to go over at Primo. This was a good show, man. I loved everything that got set up here. We'll talk about a bunch of different things here as we go through. Go ahead, Primo.
Yeah, I'll go through it.
Yeah.
This is actually the most recent one I watched. So, show opener. They had an awesome Falls Count Anywhere match between Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Basically, spot fest.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I mean,
get all your stuff in, do what you got.
Exactly.
They wrestled like they were going for a contract to me.
Right. It's like the Jeff Hardy fan inside of me was like going crazy because all the crazy stuff they were doing. So Swerve Scott wins with help from his entourage. Is that the same dude that's on Hidden Treasures?
I have no idea.
The dude that whenever Leon Ruff jumped down, the dude that caught him.
I don't remember who caught him.
Okay. Well, moving on. So his entourage helped Swerve Scott win, and then that was the end of that match. They've been feuding for a while, so that was the I almost said pinnacle. The peak of their feud. Next up, we come back to NXT, and Karrion Kross is in the ring. What is everybody waiting for? Basically, he's been the champ. He wants to fight. Says next week he's going to destroy Austin Theory. But then we got Cool Kyle coming out, which, by the way, not a fan of Cool Kyle.
No, yeah, pause it right there for a second. Yeah, I'm not a fan of really his either. Like, quit the lackadaisical. Oh yeah, man, I'm just here. I got a cool hat on. I'm gonna throw it off. And we're gonna fight. Like I'm not scared of you. Yeah, I don't like that, but got something with it. But to backtrack it just a little bit, did you guys notice how they tweaked Karrion Kross's entrance music?
I didn't notice.
At the end when he's pounding his chest, they added that.
I did notice that.
Yeah, they added that, which I will say I was a big fan of this entrance coming in, but him, like, he was like, it's like, boom, 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 and then he holds the title up. I think it, like,
I thought that was awesome. That slipped my mind, but I watched him do it, so now that you say it, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, they just added that to it, so he kind of raised the title at the end of the entrance there, so I thought that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
So we had Cool Kyle come out, interrupt. He says a few...
Cool Kyle.
A few irrelevant words. Then Pete Dunne comes out, and he also starts talking. Nothing that important.
New music. He got new music.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, everybody's getting new music. They
must have had a new composer come in.
Yeah, well, somebody, whoever used to do their music, they have to separate from for something. I read a while back, so a lot of people are getting some new. Yeah.
So after Pete Dunne came out and basically talked about how he doesn't care about Kyle O'Reilly and doesn't care that Karrion's the NXT champion, nobody's scared of him. Out comes Finn Balor. The Prince returns. All three of them just go to town on Cross.
Yeah, they do.
They jump him.
I love Finn Balor's when he goes and jumps in the air and does the double kick. If you sell that just right, it looks awesome. And Cross did that because he almost elevates him up in the air, like he gets kicked by Superman that should be a real missile drop kick. Yeah,
because it's coming at you.
Yeah. That always reminds me of Mortal Kombat. You remember that character? Was it Liu Kang? He goes.
Yeah,
that's what it always reminds me of. Like he's going to do that, and then
Glad we were all on board with that.
Thank you.
All three of us just went like this with our fingers.
Let's say we're mature and grown. So Cross is able to actually fend off the three of them, and he hits one security guy too. While he's looking at the ramp and Finn and the other two are going back up the ramp, Gargano and Theory attack him from behind. They end up getting him down. Double super kick while he's down on his knees, drop him. Gargano looks at the NXT Championship for a second, but grabs his North American Championship instead, hits him over the head, knocks out Cross, they walk out. So they actually got the upper hand before the match next week with Austin Theory.
Cross is the big heel.
Johnny Gargano grabbed his title instead of the NXT title. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Well, yeah, what was funny, too, is Gargano is wearing the title during this whole brawl. Like, he's just wearing it.
It's like a belt.
And if you look, he's got it really tight. Like, it looks, he's got it really tight. But he's out there brawling.
His pants up.
So afterwards, we had the second match with Saray, where she defeats Zeta Ramir.
Mm-hmm.
Good match there. Legado del Fantasma is in the middle of the ring. Escobar says he will regain his Cruiserweight Championship. He talks about, Emperor, Lucha Libre, tradition, blood, all this stuff. And Legado del Fantasma, the tag team, challenges MSK to the tag titles. I tweeted Wesley this week. He hadn't got back to me. Kushida comes on the big screen and challenges Escobar for next week in a 2 out of 3 Cruiserweight Championship match. 2 out of 3 falls. Afterwards, we had another. We had another clip of Cameron Grimes. He's trying to get into this club, right?
Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes. He says, You must have heard me all the way over there. Let me jump up here for you. Cameron! Grimes! So he gets upstaged again by $1 Million Man. Which, it's hilarious, but at the same time, I'm like, what are they going to do with this? Because it's, not a whole lot, unless he's going to manage somebody. But anyway.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we had the main event. The Way... Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell come out for a street fight with Ember and Shotzi for the women's tag team championship. Good match. Lots of crazy spots. You had Shotzi jumping off the top rope onto Candice onto the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. You had I think it was Indy who went through the table. I don't remember. Shotzi went to the table. The announcer's table.
Yeah.
And even the announcers, commentators were talking about it. They're like, I cringe every time. They just close their eyes every time Shotzi jumps off something.
Right, yeah.
I kind of do too.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It makes you a little nervous, so.
A little bit, yeah.
So after all the sweat and hard work they put into that match, Candice LeRae and Indy Hart will actually end up beating Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart to be the new
I thought this was
NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah, but it took a little while. I want to say two things though about this show. One, did you guys see Steve Corino pushing Balor back? Wow, did he look different.
Yeah.
That was Steve Corino.
He was wearing the shirt.
Yeah. He had some long hair. That was totally blowing me off. The other thing is shaved Ciampa. Much better.
I know.
Much better. Yeah. He's shaving everything. He looks better. Like him and Thatcher are going to be a good, awesome tag team. So is that it for NXT, Primo?
That is it for NXT. I guess I missed Ciampa. I watched it on Hulu, so they cut some stuff out.
Yeah. Ciampa. Who did they beat? Well, it was kind of a showcase match for them, but
right.
Yep. So that's the recap. So all right. Next up here, let's talk about
3 hours later.
3 hours later, yeah.
3 hours later.
Pick Primo's brain. We skipped it last week. All right, Primo, you might have to think about this one for a minute. AJ, you can answer this one too. I want you to answer this one too today. All right. Question is, who was the most local wrestler near you growing up? Like who grew up close to you? Who was from somewhere close to you? What wrestler grew up somewhere close to you? All right, we're going to take a look at the graphic. Be right back. All right, Primo, give me 3 or 4.
All right, so as you know, I am actually from the great state. I don't have anything near me that I can show you, actually. The great state of Texas. I'm from Central Texas, which means, Texas is so spread out, but I could get to each of these areas within a couple hours. Okay. San Antonio, we got the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. Edna, Texas, which Victoria area, Southeast Texas, you got Stone Cold. Houston, Katy, Texas, actually, but we'll say Houston for the people that don't know anything about Texas. Houston, you got Booker T. El Paso, you got Eddie Guerrero. Dallas, you got the Von Erichs. I mean, I can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, Texas, I was thinking the closest to you.
Yeah, I was trying to think closest to me. San Antonio is about an hour away, hour and a half away.
Gotcha.
So, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn Michaels. I don't know, if there's any that are, super local to me.
Oh, gotcha.
Usually it's the bigger cities, because nobody knows the small towns in Texas.
Yeah. A lot of times it's like, if a guy is from somewhere close to you, they bill him from, if a guy lived close to me, they bill him from Chicago. And
I don't know where Death Valley is in Texas, so I can't tell you where Undertaker's from. Mark Henry, Silsbee, Texas.
Okay. AJ, what about you, man?
Yeah.
So I didn't just Google this really quickly because my initial response was, CM Punk obviously is from Chicago. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to find someone a little closer, and all I can find is...
Well, Rollins is from Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah.
So that's sort of close. Yeah.
That's a little bit.
Yeah.
David Otunga is from Elgin, Illinois, which is little south of Chicago, I guess.
Yeah. Elgin is where the first AEW pay-per-view was. All in. Yeah.
That was in Elgin.
The Sears Center that's out there. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where that was. Yeah, I guess you're right. I was trying to think, man. The Road Warriors. They're built from Chicago. I think they're actually from. One of them's actually Animal is from Minnesota. For me, Flair was from Minnesota, so he was sort of around. But Nikita Koloff, Midnight Express, those guys all were close to me. So.
Yeah, I'm looking up here. Even by looking it up, the list I got lists half of the people I just named: Shawn Michaels, Dusty Rhodes, Booker T, Von Erichs, Eddie Guerrero, JBL, Jake the Snake, Mark Henry, Undertaker, Stone Cold. Like they're all there. The greats, we're Texas, so.
Yep. West Texas State, that football team had all those guys on it.
Right.
Tully Blanchard's quarterback. All right, next up, guys, we're going to do Dropkick discussion of the week. We're going to take like a 2-minute break real quick. Let you guys check out the graphic. Today's Dropkick discussion, sponsored by Coastland Apparel. Go use the promo code BirdTV for 15% off. Today we're going to talk about our top 5 best heels or favorite heels, like who we think are the top 5 heels. So go check this out, guys. We'll be back here. Give us about 2 minutes or less. We are back. Today's Dropkick discussion of the week, man. We're going to talk heels, the bad guys, the sinister, the mean man, the conniving. Feel free to jump in, guys. Whatever.
The mean. No, I think we should go with mean.
Mean man.
The meanies.
All right, so we're going to talk. We're going to talk top 5 heels as we always do. So. Let's talk about it here, man. Like you said, yeah, sneaky, conniving. These guys cut a good promo.
Oh
They
yeah.
talk about your mom, your family. They tried to break your leg. They cheated to win all the time. Start us off, Primo. Number 5.
You just made me so happy about my list. Everything you just said.
Yep, me too.
Yep.
You said, cheating. You said good promo. I wanted to say it a second ago. Ultimate opportunist. The rated R superstar himself as my number 5. Edge is one of my, in my opinion, one of the greatest heels of all time. During his heel runs in the 2000s, just everything from the, everything he did on the mic. His multiple Money in the Bank cash-ins. Mm-hmm. The rated R strip show with Lita in the middle of the ring.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, but Edge is my number 5. Ultimate opportunity. They don't call him that for nothing.
Right. Yep. You got to be a heel to get that done. All right, AJ, number 5.
So I have a tie for number 5 between. Well, they were in the same stable, so I thought it was okay to include them both. I have Mr. Perfect / Rick Rude as my number 5 heels of all time.
Okay.
Mainly because like as a kid, it's weird. Like you go back and watch like wrestling that you watched as a kid, and back then I loved Mr. Perfect, but I thought he was annoying, and Rick Rude made me laugh just because he always had wacky stuff on his tights and
right, yeah.
Like I remember I would sit there and do like the swivel hips, and my older sister would be like, "You're an idiot. What are you doing?"
Right, I know.
And like the little baby AJ just going.
I love Rick Rude. I have a Rick Rude T-shirt.
I want a Rick Rude T-shirt.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Perfect was I always loved Mr. Perfect for some reason. I don't know why. It's just one of those wrestlers that I just kind of attached to as a kid.
Yeah.
And yet going back, I like him as a heel even more. Like he was fantastic. And of course they were both with Bobby Heenan, which also made me like them both a little bit more. So those are my 5.
When I think vignettes, of pumping up wrestlers, I always think of the ones of Mr. Perfect. He would throw the football and then they would show him catching it. He would shoot. You just keep hitting shots.
Like going up the stadium stairs.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Play pool. And
the famous GIF of him throwing the towel up in the air and Heenan catching it. You know what I mean? It's like the gum. Yeah. Good pick there. All right, my number 5, I'm going to start off hot here because I feel like I had to include him in my top 5. Number 5 is You've Got No Chance.
Oh.
No chance.
I didn't even think about him. And you're right, though. You're correct. You
got to have him in, man. The boss is one of the biggest heels of all time, man. Vince McMahon. He runs a show so he can do whatever he wants. I always go down as saying the Attitude Era is not the same without Vince because the rivalry with Stone Cold. Everybody loves seeing Stone Cold punching Mac in the hospital. So he's got to be on the list, man. He's the boss. He can do what he wants to. He can, he can screw the baby faces. And he ticks off the crowd. He got everybody booing with just one word. And, yeah.
Kiss my butt club.
So
I thought I was going to be the only one to be good today.
Check. All right, we're good. Back to even. So my number 5, you got to have Vince McMahon on the list, so I had to get him on there, man. So I'm going to talk about later somebody that didn't make my list, but I'm going to tell you why. But anyway, number 5. So, all right, Primo, number 4.
Number 4. One of the best guys on the mic, Y2J, Chris Jericho. He's one of the best heels. Back to basically, he was more of a, early in his WWF run and end of WCW run, he was more of a, I can't say the word because I don't want to curse, but he was a chicken heel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for a long time, and then he became more serious when he did the business suit thing. But altogether, he's always been a big heel, great on the mic, can really cut somebody down in a promo. Mm-hmm. Plus, he's one of my favorites, so that's why he's on the list.
Nice, AJ.
Number 4, I have Jake the Snake Roberts.
I'm going to second that because that's my number 4 as well. So we'll both talk about it.
Really?
Yep.
Look at us go with our stuff.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. So Jake the Snake Roberts. He uses words like avarice, and he uses them quietly in his promos. That's amazing. I remember I looked up the word avarice when I was a kid because I had no idea what it meant, but I was terrified of it because Jake the Snake said, even though I didn't think he said avarice when he used his face. But anyways, and then once he turned heel with his program with Macho, which that's still one of my favorite feuds of all time, even though it kind of like fizzled out there in the end. But remember the snake bite angle?
Oh, absolutely.
The snake bit Macho.
Yeah, where they had him up in the ropes.
Yeah. And the snake bit Macho. That's one of my favorites.
He does a really good Macho impression, by the way.
Who Jake the Snake does?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because he's told the story of the day that he was going to have him, the snake bite him, and he goes to the locker room, and Macho's like, "That thing got fangs, man."
Yeah. Jake took a bite. He made
Jake bite. Yeah.
Jake, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. Great story. Love it.
Speaking of Jake, go ahead. Sorry, go back to what you were saying. I was just going to say back to my number 4, Chris Jericho. He said in an interview that when he did the 2007-2008 run with the business suit when he became world champion again, he channeled Jake the Snake because he told him, he watched his promos and he realized that Jake was quieter, so the crowd had to listen. Mm-hmm. And also he used a vocabulary that the crowd didn't understand, so it pissed him off.
Sure.
So that type of stuff.
Yep. Calculated. You think sneaky, conniving, what I said, sinister, talk about your family, tried to hurt you, threw the snake on you after the match after he beat you, like to add insult to injury. And like AJ said, man, one of the biggest promos ever, or best heel promos, man. Yeah, absolutely. Loved it. Love Jake the Snake, man. Love it. All right, well, that's number 4 is out of the way, so let's go top 3. AJ, let's start with you, man. Top 3. Number 3.
So I was going to try and do the voice right now, but I realized that I had neighbors, and I was going to yell it. Number 3, you can smell what the Rock is cooking. Thank you.
What the Rock
is
cooking. Wait, I can do the eyebrow.
Yeah.
I learned how to do that when I was a kid, too, just because I love The Rock so much.
Absolutely.
So, The Rock is number 3. Obviously, he's also an amazing babyface. So, the reason why The Rock is number 3 on my heels list is because even his, heel jokes are funnier than anyone else in wrestling ever, pretty much. And he would chide the audience for laughing at his jokes, which is my favorite thing ever. He'd be like, "God, don't laugh at the Rock's jokes."
Yeah.
My favorite one is like, "If you're so mad, this isn't sing along with the Rock."
Yeah. Nobody asked you to sing on me. Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes I still when I'll say something funnier and my brother will laugh, I'll still be like, "Oh, don't laugh at the Rock's jokes."
Right. Yeah.
It's like an ongoing thing. It doesn't matter.
Corporate Rock was a big heel. Nation Rock, the Domination was a big heel. Yeah. Rocky Maivia. Yep.
Rocky Maivia. We try not to think about that Rock, but the rest of the Rocks were fantastic.
The rest of the
number 3.
All right.
The plethora of rocks.
The many, many rocks.
Right. Primo, number 3.
Number 3, you're talking about guys who attack people's family. Who remembers when he handcuffed Triple H and kissed his wife in front of him, and then RKO'd her? Randy Orton. But so he did that. But not only that, Randy Orton's one of my favorites. He didn't make my top 5, but he was my honorable mention. He just was outside my top. He was there, and I took him off.
Right.
But because I like heels, I'm a heel guy. I haven't really established that on the show because you're the heel guy. But to me, he has, since his career started, he's been such a heel for so long. He's one of the guys that was such a good heel that you end up loving him.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Stone Cold. Perfect example.
Exactly. So that's why he's my number 3. He's also one of my favorites. He's a great heel.
Yep.
And he's one of those guys he's nasty. He attacked Triple H's wife.
Yep.
Stuff like pretty sure he RKO'd Mae Young once, a Legend Killer.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty
sure.
Really
yeah. I don't think anybody was safe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, kind of staying along that same type of genre, my number 3, boys, it's time to play the game.
Oh, the King of Kings.
Yeah, man, this dude was dirty. The sledgehammer. You know, he doped up Stephanie and made her in the drive-through.
Yep.
You know, he ruined
cerebral assassin.
Yeah, he ruined the wedding
that they wouldn't do today.
Right, yeah, he won he ruined the wedding with Test and
Test, yeah.
So I mean he's a nasty heel, man. He's you know, with DX, you know, he was a heel for a while before they got over. You know,
Evolution.
I think we can't talk about I mean, we could go on, man. Triple H.
I mean, he used to. I remember, there's so many times I think I can whatever faction with he was. I think Evolution, where they tied once they tied up Kevin Nash in the ropes and beat the crap out of him in the sledgehammer. They did the same thing to Goldberg. They did the same thing to Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
If you hear me.
Yeah. Yep. Big bad booty daddy is you hook
That's
up.
That's right. The big bad.
All right, boys. Let's go. Top two. Primo, start us off. Top two.
Top two. Surprise you old timers didn't say this yet. The rowdy one, Roddy Piper.
Aha.
So, I mean, obviously.
Let's pause right there. AJ, is your number two Roddy?
No, my number 4 was Roddy, but I crossed him off and put Jake the Snake.
All right, well, I'm with Primo. My number 2 is Roddy Piper as well.
Right.
Yep.
If anybody, I mean, yeah.
Right there.
Roddy
Piper.
He was one of those guys, everybody hated him. Like, you hated him.
Yep, you hated him. He could talk. He could kick your ass. You know, he was on so many different. Like how many big things happened at Piper's Pit in wrestling?
Right,
a ton. You know what I mean?
And he's like one of the guys they legit have to escort out of the arena.
Yeah. Because
people hate him so much. He gets punched and stuff like that.
Here's your perfect scenario of a guy that never needed the belt. You know, when they needed a face to get them over, Roddy got in the ring with them, and he's one of the best ever. There was a list that came out not long ago where WWE put top heels of all time, and Roddy was number 1 on their list.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yep.
Did he ever hold any belt? He had the IC title once, didn't he?
IC title, but no world titles. Not any world titles. And I'm not even sure about IC. I want to say he did at some point, but I know he won some tag belts and smaller belts. But all right, AJ, who you got number 2?
Woo! Of course, number 2.
Right.
Ric Flair.
Ricky!
Obviously, the only reason that he's not number 1 is because of someone we've already talked about, but I'll get to that.
Okay.
But Ric Flair, what can you say? I mean, he's the greatest of all time, ever. Just his whole persona, everything about Ric Flair. He was garbage as a babyface, but even garbage babyface Flair is better. He's just a natural heel, with the shock blonde hair, and he's everything about him just screams heel, and he was a perfect heel. He was the best.
Jet pawing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Got the Rolexes.
That's right. The alligator shoes, the $50,000 watch.
He was in your face about it.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
All right. Let me add to that. So let's start at 5 and go all the way to 1. I'll start it off. 5 was Vince McMahon. 4 was Jake the Snake. 3 Triple H. 2 Roddy Piper. My number 1, the dirtiest player in the game. Yep, Ric Flair. You know, he's every girl wanted him. Every guy hated him. Everybody wanted to be him. You know, we just got to talk about him. You know, he Starrcade '85 was right after. Was the big blow-off between him and Dusty when right after he broke his leg. One of the hugest storylines in history, and it was at the hands of Ric Flair. You know, he's done so much in the business as a heel. You know, I can't pick anybody else but him, number 1. So, all right.
Wants to take a ride on Space Mountain.
That's right, man. Yep. Longest or oldest ride in the park, but still has the longest line. Yep. Yep, that was it. Diggler said, the Flair experience was him stripping naked on WCW. Yeah, I swear he was probably drunk that night, and he was just taking his clothes off, slapping his chest. He was elbowing his pants, and, so. All right, Primo, 5-1.
5. We got the Rated R Superstar Ultimate Opportunist Edge. Number 2, we got Y2J, Chris Jericho himself, the first undisputed champion, mind you. He's kind of like my stats. Me and him have a lot in common. I'm the first sit-down Marks champion. He's the first undisputed champion. Number 3, we got the legend killer himself, Randy Orton. 2, we have Roddy Piper. Number 1, let me get a couple of rowdies here, and I'll show you Stone Cold is the best heel ever. He was actually the first one that, for me, that when I say that I love Randy was a heel for so long, he grew on me, I ended up loving him. Stone Cold was the first one for me like that. And then for everyone, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Arguably the biggest wrestler ever.
Yeah.
All right, AJ, wrap us up.
So, number 5, Mr. Perfect, and just going to do that. Number 4, Jake the Snake Roberts. Number 3, The Rock. Number 2, Ric Flair. And number 1, which we've talked about him already, my favorite heel of all time, Y2J, Chris Jericho.
Can't argue that, man.
He can get anything over. I think he's the best talker, probably not ever, but he's up there. If you talk about Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, he would be on there for me. He would be in like the George Washington spot for me. He got a pen and a clipboard over, and he can do anything. And I think he's one of the most creative talkers. And like Primo said, he can insult anybody. He can insult the fans, insult the wrestlers, and everyone just loves him for it more. And he also would go very well. Actually, I'm not going to say that right now because I'm assuming we're going to save that for another time. But my number 1 of all time, Y2J, Chris Jericho, the first undisputed champion.
Right.
AJ.
And I was going to say too, real quick, Jericho's one of those guys that could probably make top 5 heel or baby faces.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
AJ, you know what happens when you have the same guy as me on your list?
Do you? Do you know what happens?
You just made the list.
There was one time where he was talking to the SNL guys. They do Weekend Update.
Yeah.
They were cutting a promo, and Chris Jericho came up, and he was like, "You're gonna get."
Yeah.
And then he slowly walked out of frame. But then he emerged into frame.
He comes back,
on the other side, and which means he walked out, went around the cameraman, and came back in from the other side. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you will never ever
again. All right, good dropkick discussion today, boys. That was fun. So, did you guys watch the Macho Man biography on A&E last Sunday?
Sure did.
Yeah. What'd you guys think? Quick notes.
I think that the first 2 documentaries were, hyping the career and life of, and this third one was dark.
Yep.
It was so sad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was touched a little different era so far. Yeah, it was a little different. So, does anybody want to start off with their Macho Man impression?
Okay. Nope.
First name Macho, last name Man.
Elizabeth.
Oh boy. Primo's about to. He's about to put something on. I'm gonna match him. Hang on.
I'm just gonna sit here and do my Rick Rude. I've just been sitting here doing my Rick Rude for everyone.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show like this.
You have to now.
That's all right with you guys.
You as well.
I can see these things. They're not really there.
I was saying those are awesome.
I mean, you need the shirt or something.
Oh yeah, and I got the shirt too. Yeah,
I got the Macho shirt on as well.
Yeah, everything's blurry. Everything is blurry. Awesome.
Well,
we got the Macho. We got.
Oh.
Yeah, the Intercontinental Champion. Let me tell you, Dirty Bird, don't look behind you. Don't look in front of you. Look straight to the top. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Dirty Bird. The Intercontinental Champion, the Macho Man. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
We'll call it a draw.
I love how you called it the Intercontinental Heavyweight.
Sweeping professional wrestling.
Yeah, the Intercontinental. So
Intercontinental
Heavyweight Champion. Don't Man is not the best Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. I am the best Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of all time.
Did you guys see Andrade? Oh yeah, did you guys see Andrade challenging Omega for the AAA Mexican title? I think that might happen.
I'd be okay with that match.
I think that might happen. Omega's been kind of silently holding that for a while. Andrade would be a good guy to take.
Like you always see him with it, and then but he never talk about it.
Right? Yeah, we never talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dirk Ziggler says, "Snap into a Slim Jim."
Yeah, kind of odd. So, today's wrestler spotlight, man. I want to talk about Phoenix, man. This guy's been freaking, man. Every time I see him in a match, I'm glued, man. I'm watching. Even if it's a tag team match, they're panning away, man. This dude is so good. Golly, man. He's
one of the
fearless.
reasons why. He's one of the reasons why I'm glad that I got assigned to AEW is because of Phoenix.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
There it is. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I first we've talked about AEW in Phoenix, probably the first show, and I said that I first was drawn to him and Penta in Lucha Underground. That's where I was first introduced to him. Yep. I was introduced to a lot of guys there. Them two, you got Angelico, Jack Evans, basically a bunch of guys from AAA.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jeff Cobb was what was his name? Matanza, the dude that had like the mask on. That was Jeff Cobb.
Santos Escobar was King Cuerno.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great show.
What was Johnny Morrison?
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny Mundo.
Yeah. Sammy Callahan was on there.
Mm-hmm. Rey Mysterio had his real name. That's right.
Ricochet was down there.
Yeah, Ricochet. Yep. Prince Puma. Yep.
But no, Phoenix on that show. I think between him and Angelico on Lucha Underground was crazy.
Yeah.
The spots they would do.
Yeah, man. He's awesome, man. He's fun to watch. He's one of the reasons why we check out AEW, man. So interesting to see where he goes, man. I've watched him on the Indies a lot too. So, all right, man. It's time to toast to Rowdy. Raise up those glasses or the drinks there that you got today. Appreciate those guys.
This is Rowdy and not or apple.
The channel here. All right, so. Also, Coastland Apparel, you see the logo right there on the screen. Go to that website. Use the promo code BIRDTV. They just dropped some new hats and shirts. We're all rocking everything today.
Right.
So,
sweet hats.
I'm really excited about it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Georgia, so it won't come here. But why is it?
I ordered a new shirt. Hopefully, it's here by next week.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right, guys. We've been talking about this for a while. It's time for a random wrestling story. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let me set this up for you. I'm going to play the video, and we're going to go through it. I'm going to let it run a few times. So let me set everything up for you. Okay. So I'm sitting ringside with a few of my buddies, Ziggy and a few other guys. We're at the Berwyn Eagles Club, Southside Chicago. Mick Foley is he's advertised as the guest of the night, so he has a little bit of interaction in the matches. So as you'll see in the video, Mick Foley is standing there. He's on the apron of the ring. He is interjecting in a match. He's going to be like a special enforcer, if you will. Colt Cabana is there. Zero Gravity, a tag team, is there. I can't remember who else was in the match, but anyway. So Foley is going to be the special enforcer, right? This is the way they can get him, worked into the match, right? Okay. So they start talking about the match. Mick Foley goes. When the video starts, you'll see Foley goes. I'm going to be watching the match. If anything funny goes on, I'm going to have to interject, right? Okay, so I'm gonna set this up for you and show you the video. So he says that, all right. Right as he says that, when the video cuts off, I wish Chris would have been recording. He was probably in shock by what I said. He goes, if anything crazy happens, I have to interject in the match. It's going to be bad for somebody involved. And so, me and my, having fun self of the night, I yell out, "Socko!" That's when the video stops, okay? So I'm going to let you guys go watch this a few times, and then I'll come back and I'll explain the rest of it to you. All right, here it is.
On either side. It's out of line.
Socko! Socko!
Yeah! One on either side. It's out of line.
Socko! Socko!
Yeah! One on either side. It's out of line.
Socko!
Socko!
Okay. All right. So what happened is right when you see Mick point at me, he looks at me and he goes, "Kid, I've only got one gimmick and I've worked my whole life to get it. Do not ruin it for me."
That's so funny.
I felt like this big, you know what I mean? Like, I just ruined it for Mick Foley. Everybody's kind of looking at me like, "Oh my God."
Thanks a lot.
I'm looking like, what did I just say? I just wanted to participate, I was like, I was like, it's like,
it's like the thing that everybody knows, but you're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah. So he's like, "Don't ruin it for me." So anyway, he comes out later. There's some shenanigans going on. He's dropping the Socko on everybody, And at the end of the night, he was signing autographs for everybody. He had a super long line. I was really wanting to, go through and try to get my picture made with him. Or if he still had the sock, I probably would have bought it from him just because of what happened that night. So,
yeah.
But, yep. So there finally is the random wrestling story with Mick Foley.
Awesome. So good.
You made Mick Foley shed a single tear.
I did.
In the ring.
I did. I tried to ruin his gimmick. So there it is. I got plenty more coming.
That is hilarious.
Next one I think I'm gonna bring you is gonna be the Sandman story. I have a Sandman story.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that one as well.
It's not much of a story, really. It's a video, and I'm going to narrate what is going through my mind through this whole video. So it's
of Sandman.
Of the Sandman. He is approaching me. Okay, he is approaching me with his pre-match gimmick. So I got some. So we'll get into that next time. So yeah, it's funny. So, all right, guys, talk to me. Who's your favorite champ right now, AJ?
Darby Allin. Gotta be Darby Allin.
Why not?
Again, he's defended it 5 weeks in a row. Looks great in each defense, even though Sting has been coming out a little bit to help him. But he edges out both the Young Bucks and Roman Reigns this week. So Darby Allin, thumbs up.
Primo?
So mine about a month ago was Darby Allin, and it's a really great choice. It really is. And then I went through Roman Reigns for about a week. And then for the past 2 weeks, I've been a Sheamus fan. I still am. But after this last week of him straight out, basically, he says, I make the challenges. He challenges DB and basically kicks him off SmackDown. Roman Reigns is my boy again. He is so sick. He is with it, man. He's like, I don't want him to lose the title. Like, I wish the only thing that tarnishes this for me is that they treat him like he's the best champion in the WWE, and I think he is, but not with that title. I want him to have the WWE Championship.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Right, but in the pecking order of how they look at it, Universal's on top. I know. Yeah, I know. I know.
Letter.
I'm gonna stay with Omega. You know, I love the chicken crap heel that he's turning into. You know,
champion belt collector.
Yeah, he's turning into like a little bit of I'll be there when I want to be, and you know they're turning him out to be a real big heel. So I love it.
That was another thing that Roman did like last week. He showed up. He's like, all right, we came out, we talked. Let's go, Paul. Somebody signed the check.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of change my answer now. No, Darby Allin. I'm sticking with it.
Thumbs up, thumb down, guys. What do you think?
So, my thumbs up and thumbs down are the same person. So, well, kind of. Thumbs up to Cesaro main event push. Finally. Love it.
Yep.
However, my thumbs down goes to audience members counting the Cesaro swings.
Right.
They did like the first 3, and then
they're always out of
Yeah, then it's like 4.
Even Michael Cole's out of count too.
Right. Find a spot and count head when it comes around.
Every time he rotates past, that's a lot. That's another rotation. Just be like 1.
Yeah, like pick one turnbuckle when it gets to that turnbuckle.
It's like every half is a turn. Yeah.
Yep. And then it's every third, and then every quarter. Like, learn how to count, audience. Okay, that's mine. I'm
Primo.
You made me just change my thumbs down, but because I remembered something. So my thumbs up is RK Bro. As we talked about earlier, it's my favorite thing going on. Right, it makes me actually laugh. I enjoyed it. Like I look forward to seeing that every Monday night. That's probably the only thing on Monday I look forward to seeing right now. There's not a whole lot else that excites me on Monday night. So I really like the pairing, the odd couple of Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. I just like their chemistry and the way that they're interacting with each other. It's hilarious. My thumbs down, my original thumbs down, before I just changed my answer, was the women's tag team champions. But my new thumbs down, and this is a legit thumbs down, Cesaro at WrestleMania did the spin on his back, right? Mm-hmm. They are treating that like it's the best thing that ever happened at WrestleMania.
Oh, they are.
I don't know if that's true.
No.
They're just they're like, this WrestleMania moment, it's one of the greatest of all time. Whenever he spun Seth on his shoulders, I'm just
when he was on that thing, I mean, it was different. We'd probably never seen that on Mania before.
But it's not.
It wasn't even the best spot in the match.
I know.
In the whole entire weekend.
But besides that, it has to be no fans and women's tag team championship.
Right, boys. My only argument with that, boys, is that this is part of the hype for Cesaro. So they got to find some kind of moment to kind of hang their hat on to help with the push. You know, anything
I was more of a fan of the bar.
Something they can go back to.
We don't just make the bar. We are the bar.
We are the bar. I'll have to send you a podcast for you guys to listen to. It was from Zane Riley, who is an indie wrestler. He did a podcast about doing a bar scene with Sheamus and Cesaro with the bar when they were in Charlotte one night. I'll have to send it to you. It's pretty funny. He goes through the whole thing, like setting up what happened. You know, he had to burp on command that night. It's a funny story. Yeah. For me, I am thumbs up on my indie boys winning titles. Tony Deppen winning the ROH TV title. The Kingdom back together. I'm excited for that because I love that whole era of Ring of Honor that kind of they're trying to rejuvenate here a little bit. Two things I'm thumbs up about. If you guys have y'all ever watched MLW before, Major League Wrestling? Sporadically, I have here and there. But anyway, it is on Vice TV now, the same channel that shows the Dark Side of the Rings.
Right. Yeah.
So it's on there now. I checked it out the other day. It's a little backdated. MJF is on there. So that's kind of cool. Thumbs down. I'm going to stay with thumb down just on WWE. AEW has some fans. NXT has some fans around the ring. Why can't we get them at Raw and SmackDown?
Will they have fans at WrestleMania Backlash?
Right. Why can't we do that just to have a more organic show? I just need to hear live voices ringside to make it feel like wrestling to me.
I think they love their Thunderdome setup too much that they don't, because they
spent too much money on all the fans.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of Dark Side, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
When it starts up?
Yeah.
Brian Pillman, first episode?
Yeah, that's exciting.
Okay. All right, guys, last question. Who's the best wrestling company right now? AJ?
AEW.
Same for me.
Thank you for the assignment. Yes.
Yep, same company. Same for me. Primo?
Stupid Raw.
I say AEW as well. I like NXT as its own show, but as a company overall, WWE isn't hitting every single mark. AEW is more consistent right now.
All right. Well, that's going to start putting a bow on this show today. Thank you to Coastland Apparel for sponsoring the show. Also to Rowdy Energy and my super awesome Macho Man glasses.
Ooh, yeah. So I also want to point out, we had a guy in one of my leagues. I run a MLB The Show league. And he tried to say that AEW is generic Impact Wrestling. I told him right out the gate that he was incorrect. So don't worry.
Yes, his opinion is objectively false.
I was like, all right, well, I officially don't want to listen to,
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah. How many more? Yeah.
So I brought out my cowboy hat and my and my glasses for this, right? I almost went in while I was at work today. Had I remembered, I almost went and got a little creamer. Free little crowd,
brother. All right, man. That was a pretty awesome show here today. Thank you to all the sponsors once again. Next week we're going to be back here and we're going to flip the script. We talked about heels this week. We're going to talk about top 5 baby faces.
I've ruined mine already.
The white meats, the pretty boys, the ones that we like to see chasing. After that, favorite feud of all time is Wednesday after that. And then we're going to do our top 5 favorite manager or valet. And then starting off June is top 5 wrestling cities. So hang tight, guys. We might run up on a guest here sometime soon. Me and Primo probably here going to get this Starcade 85 watch going. So a lot going on here, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to have a lot coming up here. Thank you, guys. AJ, Primo, appreciate it.
Thanks
for doing the show here today with me. Thanks for being on remote.
I was just thinking about that age.
You guys are all about to make the list.
Just made the list.
You know what happens when the show ends?
He would hit everybody with that. You know what happens when you interrupt me? You know what happens when you have the light too bright in my eyes?
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Episode 9 on the way.